Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into one of the wine world's absolute best-kept secrets. We're talking about Brazil, but probably not the Brazil that first comes to mind.
All right, let's do a quick thought experiment. When I say the word Brazil, what's the very first image that pops into your head? Seriously, take a second and picture it. Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's something like stunning beaches, right? The infectious rhythm of samba, a culture that's just electric with energy. And look, you'd be absolutely right. But what if I told you Brazil is also making some of the most exciting, top-tier sparkling wines in the entire world? Yeah, I thought that might get your attention. So, how on earth did that happen? Let's get into it. Okay, so the story of Brazilian bubbly is just fascinating. And the craziest part? It doesn't even start in Brazil. Nope. To really understand it, we have to go all the way back across the Atlantic to Italy. It's a story all about immigration, family, and a deep, deep passion for wine.
So, you've got these Italian immigrants arriving in southern Brazil back in the 19th century. They brought with them their love for wine, of course, but more importantly, they brought generations of viticulture knowledge. They literally planted the seeds for what was to come. Fast forward in 1931 and you see these small grape-growing families teaming up to create the Cupareda Aurora, which was a huge turning point. Then, in the 70s, you get these visionaries, guys like Adolfo Lona, who come in with modern techniques and just level up the quality. And that really set the stage for today, where Brazil is finally getting the international props it deserves.
All right, now this is where things get really cool. You have this classic, old-world Italian expertise, and it collides with this completely new, totally unique Brazilian environment. What the pros call terroir. And that fusion? Wow, it created something absolutely special.
The absolute heart of all this is a region down south called Saragossa. And let me tell you, it's like this place was custom-made for growing grapes for bubbly. You've got cool winters and mild summers. That's the sweet spot. The soil is this basaltic stuff, which gives the wines this amazing minerality, a real crispness. Put it all together and you get grapes with fantastic acidity and complexity, which is exactly what you need for world-class sparkling wine.
And here's where we see that famous Brazilian flair, right? The winemakers are so smart about this. They blend tradition with local character. So, they'll use the classic grapes you know and love, like Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, to give the wine that solid, elegant foundation. But then, and this is the genius part, they embrace grapes like Moscato and Riesling Italico because those grapes just love the local soil and climate. The result? You get this familiar, structured wine, but with this incredible aromatic pop, a freshness that is just distinctly Brazilian. So what happens when you mix that heritage, that unique terroir, and those awesome grapes? Well, you get a whole range of styles. I'm serious, no matter what you like, there's a Brazilian bubbly out there for you. Let's break it down. If you're into that classic dry style, you've got to try the Brut. It's super crisp and refreshing, perfect as an aperitif or with some seafood. If you want something a bit more delicate, the Rosé is beautiful, with all these red fruit notes. Think salmon or sushi. And hey, if you like a little sweetness, the Moscatel is a knockout. It's so aromatic and floral, and it's an amazing partner for desserts.
But wait, don't just pigeonhole Moscatel for dessert. One of the most mind-blowing pairings you'll find is Moscatel with a really bold blue cheese. I know, it sounds a little crazy, right? But the sweetness in the wine just cuts right through the sharpness of the cheese, and it creates this perfectly harmonious balance. It's a pairing that just shows you how creative and versatile the Brazilian wine scene really is.
Of course, these amazing wines don't just make themselves. Behind every single bottle, there's a real story of people, of passion, and some serious skill. So let's talk about some of the masters who are leading the way. Okay, look at this number, 130. What does that even mean? That is the number of months, we're talking over a decade, that one producer, Família Valduga, ages its flagship sparkling wine. Think about that. That's not just winemaking, that's an almost unbelievable commitment to patience and quality. And trust me, you can taste that dedication in every single bubble.
Then you've got something totally different, like Cooperativa Aurora. This isn't just one winery or one family. It's a huge cooperative of more than 1,100 grape-growing families, all working together. They pool all their knowledge, all their resources, and the result is these consistently high-quality wines that are also super accessible. It's just a beautiful example of the collaborative spirit of this whole region.
And the potential here is so huge that it's even attracting talent from all over the world. Take Cave Gaise. It was founded back in '79 by Mario Gaise, a winemaker from Chile who basically saw the magic in the Serra Gaúcha's terroir and just knew he had to be a part of it. He really set the standard for those high-end, traditional method sparkling wines that can age for years. It's just more proof that Brazil is playing in the big leagues.
So, you've got this amazing foundation of history, quality, and passion. The big question is, where do they go from here? Well, it's pretty safe to say the future is, forgive the pun, very, very bubbly.
Looking ahead, their growth is really built on three main pillars. First up is innovation, and this is a big one. They're not just resting on their laurels. Winemakers are constantly experimenting, even looking at native Brazilian grapes and brand new techniques to create flavors that are totally new and unique.
Next up, and this is a massive piece of the puzzle, sustainability. And look, this isn't just some marketing buzzword for them. It is a core value. We're talking about a commitment that touches everything, from organic farming and using less water, all the way to lighter glass bottles and eco-friendly packaging.
So you see the path they're on, right? It's a three-step process, really. Step 1, innovation in the winery. Step 2, grounding everything they do in sustainable practices. And Step 3, that hard-earned global recognition. And it's working. These wines are winning major international awards and popping up on some of the best wine lists on the planet. All right, that was a lot, I know. So let's boil it all down. What's the main takeaway for you? Why should you actually go out and look for a bottle of Brazilian sparkling wine? For me, it really comes down to three simple things. First, that unique terroir. You're getting flavors that you literally can't find anywhere else on Earth. Second, the value is just incredible. We're talking world-class quality that often comes without that intimidating price tag. And third, and maybe most importantly, is the story. When you pop that cork, you're not just drinking wine. You're tasting this amazing history of passion, community, and relentless innovation.
So that leaves us with the big question, right? Is Brazil the next Champagne? And the answer is no. And that's the best part. It's something entirely its own. It's not trying to copy anyone. It's proudly, confidently carving out its own identity with its own unique character and soul. And honestly, that's what makes it so much more exciting to discover. Cheers.